Fresh 2 News Sunrise on CW18.
In just a few weeks, voters in Orange and Osceola counties will decide who they want to see continue running for a seat on the bench. And if you think about it, circuit court judges play a critical role in the justice system. They have a responsibility to be impartial and fair while making what could be life-altering decisions. So to talk more about the Ninth Circuit judicial races, I'm joined by Onchonto Am and Newland Wing from the Greater Orlando Asian American Bar Association and the National Association of Asian American Professionals. So your organizations are hosting a forum for voters tonight. Onchonto, we're going to start with you. You wanted to help inform people, but especially minority and Asian American voters. What prompted all of this?
Sure. Thank you, Jasmine, for having us on this morning. Let me give you a little bit of background about Greater Orlando Asian American Bar Association. We're a nonpartisan voluntary bars organization. Now, one of our missions is to represent and advocate the interests of the Asian Pacific American community of the Greater Orlando area. Now, this all started about from a presentation at the NAPABA Leadership Advancement Program. From there, we learned that there were some statistics out there. It was really important to know that the Asian vote was not present. So from there, we decided that there's a voter initiative that needs to be had and presented to our community. And from there, the Florida Bar Young Lawyers Division heard us out, and they gave us a generous grant to move forward with this. And we had some local community interests, such as the National NAP and other local partners like Ricky Lee, Dolce, Pom Poms, and Rockstar Axe Throwing. And this is a three-prong approach where we engage the community, we bring education and empowerment, and the last component is the empowerment, which is the candidate forum. Tonight's judicial candidate forum is to inform the community about what they want to hear from the judges and what they want to know before they find themselves, when I say they, I say the community, find themselves in front of the judge, or a family member or someone close to them finds themselves in front of the judge. This is their time to hear these judicial candidates out and to cast their vote. The thing that we want everyone to remember is that your vote is your voice. So this is the opportunity to do that.
We want to go a little bit deeper on that, Newland. There are 8 candidates on the flyer for tonight's forum. They're running for seats in different groups, so that's a little bit to sort out there. But what are you hoping voters really gain from each of the candidates by listening in?
Great. Thank you, Jasmine. A huge piece of this is education, and An mentioned empowerment, and that's huge with our organizations. NAP is all about building leadership, and we've teamed up with the Greater Orlando Asian American Bar Association to do that. And with tonight's event and with future events, we really hope that education and just knowing what's going on in our politics and at the local level is really what our participants get out of this, because I think the supervisor of Orange County elections put it best in our last event we had when he said that being involved in the local level and voting in your primary is really how you make a difference at the local level and in your communities, because obviously the general election is what everyone looks at and is the most popular, but the primaries are really where a lot of the action happens at the local level.
Yeah, we're just a few weeks away from that. As we mentioned, Onchonto, you were telling me over the phone, access to justice, court efficiency, diversity, maybe some of those topics that people hear about tonight. If voters haven't made up their minds just yet, what would your advice be to them as they move forward?
Sure thing. I want everyone to keep in mind that the ballots are actually gone out in the mail already, and the ballots are probably on its way too. You could check it out on the Orange County Supervisor's Elections Office. But the key thing to remember is to have the ballot with you when you're listening and honing into the questions that are being asked. There's also a second component which Newland is going to lead, which is the Q&A portion, which we're going to ask the community to go ahead and just give us some questions either through Facebook Live or through the chat from Zoom. And from there, we can go ahead and ask the question from the community. And I think that's the key thing with the unprecedented times right now. We're working around Zoom and trying to bring this live to your house so you can ask those questions. And this, again, is the opportunity, the prime opportunity to address any of your questions that you might have.
Well, Newland and Onchonto, we thank you so much for waking up with us and coming on the show and talking about the forum tonight. Thank you. For those at home, Here's the info that you'll need. The 9th Circuit Judicial Candidate Forum is from 7 to 8:30 tonight on Zoom. As you heard, you can find the link on the Greater Orlando Asian American Bar Association's Facebook page, or you can watch it on Facebook Live as well.